Hello, everybody. I'm Sophia Parola with the Garden State Film Festival, and here with me is filmmaker Carrie Miller. She has made the short film Awaken Her. Carrie, how you doing?
Good. Thanks so much for having me. It's so much fun to be here to talk with you about it.
I know it is. Thank you so much for not only making the short film, but taking some time out to talk to us. I'm really excited to talk about this film. Before we do, can you introduce yourself and then tell our audiences a little bit about your film?
Sure, absolutely. My name's Kerrilynn Miller. I am a writer, actor, director, producer, and I live in New Jersey. I've been, gosh, I started out as an actor. And as I started to realize that there were stories that I wanted to tell that I felt like weren't being told, and to be able to put my own spin on it, I got really passionate more about writing and creating my own materials.
That's lovely. So how did you come up with Awaken Her? What was that like writing process and idea like?
Yeah, so Awaken Her actually is a feature film that I'm creating and working on right now. And what you see here at the Garden State Film Festival is a couple scenes that I created into a short film from the feature. So the inspiration really stems from this idea of creating a story that deals with a lot of the dynamics that women deal with regards to um, this idea that our power comes from the outside, the way we look, or giving our power over to people, and how we can compensate for that and learn to rise above that. So really, it just came from my own struggles too with dealing with these things, and specifically in an industry that's so heavily weighted about the way you look and um, your outward appearance, that it felt like a timely film to talk about these different topics and also be able to have a cathartic journey of my own as well.
Absolutely. I'm sure you did. I had a journey just watching the film myself. That being said, I mean, a lot of the parts, it was a beautiful film. A lot of it was not hard to watch, but it was intimate and it's intense. What was that like filming those scenes, especially you wrote and directed? What was that like being
Yeah.
always on camera and directing it and, acting your own words? Like, how was that for you?
Sure. Yeah. Well, absolutely. That scene in the bathroom is very intense. And Olha and Christian are not here, but they are just phenomenal team at getting the rawness of what's really happening in a moment, not caring so much about the lighting or if everybody looks great, but really just what was happening with those characters in there. And that was my main goals. I wanted it to be as real as possible and to bring a scene that does make you feel sick to your stomach inside, because I think in some way, shape, or form, we've all been in those situations where we feel like we need to compromise a part of ourselves in order to get something that we want, or that we feel that somebody has like the keys to the kingdom and we don't know how to access it other than, you know, compromising some part of yourself. So that was really important to me, to have that be something that left you with a feeling of sickness in your stomach.
Mhm.
And with regards to playing all those roles, when you have the right team, which I feel like we really did, it was a lot of fun. You know, it was really cool being able to see it come to life, and see, know that those are your words, and then just trust the people that you're with, that okay, I'm not going to be able to watch this all because I'm acting it, but knowing that I was in good hands gave me complete freedom to really let my hair down, so to speak, and be present as an actor and trust that the work has been done. Yeah.
Wow. So speaking of that scene specifically too, was that rehearsed and blocked out? Did you guys kind of get in there and you have the DP going really close and intimate, which I mean, I hands like congratulations to the DP, like you said, wonderful crew. Yeah, what was that like filming that scene specifically? Did it take a long time? Were you just going with the flow? Like how was that for you guys?
I think that the trickiest part of that scene is our actor Monty, who's amazing, was like, I don't know if I want to do this. This is really like, we had to be like, no, you need to like, he's such a nice guy that, but he got into it, after a couple of takes. But I think that was the biggest thing about just like really just being as truthful as possible with it, and crossing those barriers and becoming intimate with each other, and also knowing that it's okay that because when I can only imagine being a man in that situation, you're being portrayed as like the villain, right? And so it takes a lot of trust to know like, hey, we're doing this together, we're in this together, this is what we want it to be. And once you get on that same page, then things kind of really we were done in like 2 takes after that. So but yeah, it was a bit organic too. Some things that came out were not written in the script. It was just in that moment, came out, and we were like, oh, let's keep it, let's keep these things. Like, for example, there was one part where my character is really conflicted, and she's just like, she says, no, no, yes, no. Like, it's like this part that she doesn't know what to do. Like, she doesn't want to come across as a bitch, and she doesn't want to lose the deal for her boss. And she's like, what am I doing? And you could see that. And I liked that in the edit afterwards. We thought, let's keep that.
You absolutely can see that. It was very relatable. Although we hate to say it, but it's easy to put yourself, especially as a woman watching. But I'm really happy for audiences at the Garden State Film Festival to see this. So you said you're making this into a feature film. Like, what was that? Or have you already written the feature film, and how was that adapting it into this short film?
Yeah, so I have written the feature film. We're right now in the process of bringing our team together and casting and all of that stuff. We did our fundraising, but it's been an interesting journey because this short is like its own little world, and that's why we picked this scene and this moment within the feature, because it really stands alone as a short. But the feature really explores, it's basically about a woman who has this traumatic experience that happens to her at a young age, and she hides her pain behind plastic surgery. And so she's working at this med spa and for this boss, and she's selling the dream of perfection to women because she feels that beauty equals power, and power protects you from getting hurt. And so we follow this woman's journey, and the moment that you all are seeing in this short is where she is now realizing that no matter what she does or how beautiful she is, that she's still powerless, like until she owns who she is on the inside. So it's kind of like her all is lost moment in the
Wow.
feature film. So to give you a little context.
Wow. So we just got chills as you say it. I would love to watch that feature film, and I hope you will be submitting that to the Garden State Film Festival after that is done. But amazing, because watching this short film, you are wondering, what is the background of our lead? What is it she's trying to get him to do? So I definitely think that this is a really compelling short film in itself and makes you want to know more. So I'm really happy to hear that you're writing the feature. So, so I would love to ask you, what are you hoping audiences at the Garden State Film Festival get out of watching your short film?
It's a great question. Well, I definitely wanted, again, like we said, people to really, I wanted this to like be an uncomfortable type of a feeling when you're watching this. And, my goal is just to shine the light more on the power dynamics that sometimes are still very much present in our society, whether it be woman, man, or there's many more than that. But there's just this power dynamic that sometimes happens when people abuse their power. And I think it's about shining the light on that and letting people see both sides of that, like what's happening and the conflict and why it's not such a black and white issue, why a lot of times people are judged for the things that they do, but there's so much history and the way women are brought up. You have to go back to the roots of the way a little girl is told that she always has to be beautiful, or, oh, hey, pretty, you look so cute, instead of like complimenting her for being smart or athletic or kind. So like these things are ingrained in women very early on. And I think that it often affects how we feel what our worth is and what our value is, and how when we come into a situation where men who have a completely different sense of what it means to be a powerful man, successful, doesn't matter whether they're attractive or not.
Mhm.
They have different standards that when you put these two dynamics together, that you can often sometimes see that why people end up in situations that they end up in. And and it's not to give people a green light to do something or to not do something, but I think it's just an understanding that we have a lot more to go, as a society, and with women, and how we view ourselves, and how the opportunities that we're given, and to be able to be seen as equal. And I know that right now in our country and in so many different dynamics and demographics, that people can relate to that.
Absolutely. And I love that this also is kind of like a mirror when you're watching it. What would you do in those situations? No matter what character you are. And even if you're a bystander, what would you do? It really is a great film. And I love the reason behind why you made it. So I'm really happy that I got to talk to you more about, all of these things. It's so amazing. To wrap up this great interview, I would love to ask you how you heard about the Garden State Film Festival and, how's it feel to have Awaken Her premiere?
Yeah. Well, I've had a previous short film at the Garden State Film Festival in, I believe, 2017, and it was an amazing experience for me. A good friend of mine, Heather Scallion, is part of that, and she's amazing. Her
Yes, she
energy and all the
is.
work that she does as an actor, producer, and everything. And I just felt like it was such a class act when I was there last time, and I was really excited to submit again. And it's my hometown, New Jersey.
Amazing. Did
Jersey
we
girl.
film this in Jersey too?
Yeah, we did in Montclair.
Oh, amazing. Oh, I love to hear it. And I love Heather. And I feel like a lot of people know people from the festival who run it and they keep coming back. And that just shows how great of a festival it is. So I'm really happy to have you back, Carrie. I'm so happy to have Awaken Her at the 20th anniversary. It's going to be an amazing screening. I assume you will be there at the
Yes,
screening.
yes.
Awesome. So we can meet you too. Let me tell everyone watching how they can watch Awaken Her. It will be online, but it will also be screening at the Jersey Shore Art Center at the Palia Theater. Saturday, March 26th in the film block 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. So it'll be really amazing to watch this on the big screen, have all those emotions in this environment, and hopefully meet you too. Thank you so
Of
much for
course.
taking some time out to talk to us about Awaken Her. Great
No,
film.
thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me. And I can't wait to meet you on the 26th.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too.